Welcome to the TLF HQ. For those of you who have been watching my videos, this may not be new, but for those of you who haven't checked out the TLF HQ, this place is like my second home. So I decided to come here today, 5 weeks out, because as I'm getting closer to the show, you know, it's awesome to have the motivation and support by everyone at my home gym, Rule Miami. I just wanted to come in here today, focus on me, lock in, show you guys the intensity of this workout, because we're 5 weeks away from show day, baby. It's time to lock in. Let's go. So feel free to follow along, use this as your next workout. So I'm just gonna quickly guide you guys. I'm starting off with rear delt flies as my first exercise, because on my push days, I like to start with at least one exercise targeting the rear delts, mainly for warm-up purposes and just to get nice and blood flow into the shoulder before we get into our bigger lift. So the reason why I like to start with lateral raises, especially chest supported, which is something I learned a few months ago, and I've been doing them, especially as my first primary exercise. One, because if you want wide shoulders, you gotta spam those lateral raises, especially as a men's physique athlete where they focus on that V taper, broad shoulders, wide back, small waist. You gotta get wide. So you gotta throw lateral raises into your routine now. So two things I want you to notice when I'm doing this exercise. Number one is the focus, the tempo, and the control, especially at the top range of the movement. Now this is the most important part when doing dumbbell lateral raises, because this is when it provides the most tension. So pick a weight that you can control and try your best to hold it for at least a second before coming down, and try your best to control it. The reason why we're doing a chest supported is to avoid that rocking motion. And number two, if you want to intensify your workouts, I said this in my previous video, is try to add some failure or even partial reps at the end of your set. Check it out. 3. Shoulder presses have always been one of my favorite exercises, but being that medial delts is one of my most important things for a men's physique competitor, and that is where I lack for the width. I start with side delts and now go into front delts. So something I want you guys to notice is most of you, and I've always done it, go out here when pressing, and a few things what happens when you're here. Sometimes we arch too much, help us get that weight up, but if you really want to focus and get into a further range of motion, bring it 45 degrees inside, and instead of arching so much, think of belly button towards your spine, bring that brace down. And now when you press up towards your body, you're gonna feel that front delt a lot more, able to get into a further range of motion, even into a further stretch. So check out this set right here. Brace in, press up towards your body. The body naturally wants to help you by arching compensating to help you use more muscle. So instead, brace down. It's gonna make it a lot harder. And even if you struggle with that rep, just go up to where you can. Give me what you got. Keep your form. And then come right back down. It's important to add those partial reps, especially when you're training by yourself. So I'm gonna make sure you guys are subscribed because I promise you what's coming next is gonna be something you've never seen before. So going into this third exercise, another lateral raise, but now cable. And the thing with the cable compared to the dumbbells is the only main difference is where the tension peaks at the most. So when we're doing our cables, it's actually the hardest in the beginning phase of the exercise compared to when we're doing dumbbell lateral raises. So you definitely wanna add this version into your workouts. Now, instead of doing them in front, I'm all about getting rid of the variable. So I like to put it behind me. That way there's no rocking, my hips are forward, and I keep the exercise as strict as possible. Ready? Here we go. All right, so we're done with shoulders, now going into chest, which is my biggest weakness. I think going into the show, my shoulders have improved tremendously from last year. During the off season, the main focus was to develop the back as much as we possibly can, build more thickness. We have the width. The chest definitely made its improvements, but I can definitely do much better. Clearly, that's not where my genetics are, but what we could do is focus on maintaining, pushing, and just trying to get those fibers and just trying to look as sick as possible going into that show. So we look absolutely shredded, which is gonna be the goal. So here we go. Here's a quick tip when doing chest that I learned. Anytime you're doing a press, whether it's an incline press, bench press, a lot of us make this mistake and we don't notice, but for instance, when we do our flies, look at this gap between the bicep and the chest. You can't really get that full contraction compared to if you were to think about letting that bicep meet your pec, avoid the gap, close it up. So when you're doing these presses, especially this press, which allows us to close that gap and get that bicep to meet that chest, you can get the full contraction, which is what we want. Time under tension, focus on the squeeze. So to finish up the chest, something I love to finish off with is a fly. We've already done, I think, enough presses to fatigue that front delt. So now it's all about the contraction right now. So don't think about speeding this exercise up. Here's one more quick tip. Think about your elbows. Think about putting your elbows together. It's not gonna happen, right? But that's the concept. Think about your elbows driving, trying to meet your elbows to drive, and that's really gonna help you get that bicep to touch your chest and get that contraction. So we want that stretch, we want the squeeze. That squeeze that's very hard to get when we're doing an incline dumbbell press or a flat dumbbell bench press, and make every rep count. And just like anything else, when you're trying to go to failure, you go to where you can. Focus on the stretch because it's super important. You go to where you can, you go right back into the stretch, you go to where you can, but you give me what you got. Make every rep fucking count. Motivation comes and goes, and you know that. Motivation is only gonna take you so far. What's gonna keep you pushing through the hard and through the tough days is gonna be your discipline. The more disciplined you are, the further you're gonna get in life with whatever your goals are. And that is why it's extremely important to have a reason and always remember your why. We're 5 weeks away from show day. I'm grateful and thankful that you guys are here with me. Thank you for showing up because you guys pushed me to be here with so much energy. I've gone through a whole year of a bulk and now finally getting ready for show day. All this is not done overnight. So I hope you guys can see the hard work I put in, and I hope this motivates some of you. So here we are wrapping up today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. The next time I see you will be 4 weeks out, but on the paintball field. So let's go have some fun because we're almost there. I love you guys.